Now, the strategist Steve McMahon is a Democratic strategist, of course, and Todd Harris, a very successful Republican strategist. Let me ask you guys, I want to say this. I guess other people are more excited about this than I am, but I've always believed these guys are guilty. You're never going to let them go. The only question is whether they're going to be executed or have life in prison. We're never going to let these terrorists go, especially Sheikh Mohammed. Does it matter whether they're tried in the United States the way the original plan was at Foley Square, someplace in New York City in a criminal court, or down at Gitmo? Does it matter to you?
It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to me, but
does it matter to you?
I mean, I think they should be tried in a military. I don't think that they broke, the civilian law. I think that I think we're at war.
So what's the political fight here?
Well,
what's your argument?
Nobody wanted, I mean, for Republican, Democrat alike, nobody wanted the trial to be in their backyard.
No politicians did. No politicians did.
The
president made a point during the campaign, and he's right about this as a matter of confidence around the world, that it would be better if the entire world could see these people tried in U.S. courts where there are rules of due process, rules of evidence.
That's your argument.
No, it is your argument. It is an argument, and it's a civil libertarian argument. It is my argument.
Okay, so you're a lawyer. That's his argument. What was wrong with his argument?
Well, yes, it would be better, but it would be better if we didn't have terrorists trying to attack our country. It's not the reality. What we're seeing here is the difference between campaigning and actually governing. These are very easy promises to make in a campaign. It's the professor meets the president. It's the professor meets the president.
He's right as a matter of idealism. He's right in terms of what would be better. The practical reality is the United States Congress is filled with politicians, and they read polls. And the politicians in New York who read the polls said, oh, my Lord, we can't have it here. You had the police commissioner, Mr. Kelly, and you had the mayor, Mr. Bloomberg, both flip-flopping on this because they initially supported the trials in New York City, and then after they read the polls, they decided they didn't support them.
Is he right to say the world would have been impressed if we had criminal trials?
I think that, yeah, I think the world would have liked it, but I think that, I think if someone from the Bush administration were here, they would say we're not really interested in impressing the world. We're interested in
It's not about impressing the world. The verdicts would have had more legitimacy if they had come in an open court where there are rules of evidence, where there are rules of civil procedure, and where there's due process.
Who thinks they're innocent?
Nobody thinks they're innocent, but that doesn't mean that they're not entitled to a trial. It happens every single day in this country.
They're going to get a trial.
That people who committed crimes, even people who admitted crimes like John Hinckley, have trials. And that's what you do in a rule of law. And it's a better thing to do. I understand that they bended and they bowed to political reality here, but that doesn't mean that it was the right thing to do
So you're confident. I'm trying to find the distinction between you guys politically. He's saying that it would have been better to go to New York, get a conviction. Yeah, but suppose you got an acquittal in New York.
That's the danger. That's the risk. And you're going to have rules of evidence, and the trial could take a really long time. I mean, I understand why the politicians didn't want it. I understand why.
What would you guys have done if you got an acquittal in New York and Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the mastermind of 9/11, had gotten acquitted in New York City? What would you guys have done?
Well, it's beyond politics there.
What would you have done? What would you have done? Give me an honest answer.
It can't happen.
New York jury?
No, I'm not saying.
You can never predict a jury.
No, I'm saying we could not allow a situation where that would be.
Okay, so he's wrong.
Yeah, no, I do. Of course, yeah, I think Steve's wrong.
So we shouldn't have had a criminal trial in New York. So Obama was right. Now he's right.
I think he has reversed himself, but I think he's heading the right way, and I'm not going to.
Okay, let's go. Here's your problem. Let's go to the economics issue. It probably affects more people. Medicare affects more people than Khalid Sheikh Mohammed's trial. Let's go to Paul Ryan. He's the chairman of the Budget Committee on the political risks of a budget plan. Let's listen to this guy. He's got a lot of guts. We'll see if he's too gutsy or whatever. Let's watch.
We are giving them a political weapon to go against us, but they will have to lie and demagogue to make that a political weapon. We can't keep kicking this can down the road. The president has punted. We're not going to follow suit. And yes, we will be giving our political adversaries things to use against us in the next election, and shame on them if they do that.
Can you run in Florida with that kind of an argument?
Yeah,
cut Medicare, cut Medicaid. Can you win an election in Florida where a lot of people are retired?
Marco Rubio traveled across Florida and said, I think we need to reform Social Security, and I want to raise the retirement age and maybe even means test it. And in our tracking poll, we actually won on the question of who do you trust to preserve and protect Social Security. So will it be used against us? Yeah, absolutely. The question is going to be, does President Obama want to play small ball, or does he want to swing for the fences? And if he wants to swing for the fences, then a budget plan that will cut $4 trillion in spending is something that I think we ought to work together on.
Well, that's ballsy. These guys right?
Well,
Are they right to go for the fence, and you guys are doing this little wiffle ball thing of, don't blame me, it's not my fault?
The Presidential Commission wasn't wiffle ball. So, first of all,
It wasn't his commission, though. He never agreed with it.
It was the Presidential Deficit Commission. He hasn't agreed with it yet, but he wanted the Republicans. Look, he's a politician, too, and he wants to get reelected.
Yeah.
So he's going to let Paul Ryan float his program out there. Let me tell you what's not going to happen.
He just said they can carry Florida by being honest. Are they right?
No. $4 trillion in cuts is something I think everybody agrees are necessary. The question is, how are you going to do it? What Paul Ryan did, which was courageous, it was as courageous as it was politically stupid, because he proposed taking it all out of seniors programs and programs for the poor, not a penny out of defense. In fact, the Republicans want to give the Pentagon even more than they asked for, and no tax.
A lot of people watch. I see the demos who watch this show. A lot of people watch this show are 75, in good shape, mentally as sharp as anybody here.
Yeah.
Well, maybe better. Watching this show thinking, wait a minute, I don't mind taking a little bit, maybe I'll put up with some of these new restrictions on Medicare if I can, if I'm not really in bad shape and I need this procedure. But I want to know that it's all being shared.
Well,
I want to know the rich people making trillions of dollars, the Donald Trumps of this world, are paying a reasonable tax rate. I want to know that the Defense Department's not gold plating and spending tons of money that they shouldn't be doing. Is your party going to do all three?
Well, first of all, I'll say to that 75-year-old viewer, none of this talk about entitlement reform is going to affect you, because we are only talking about people who are under the age.
Oh, you're really
of 55.
swinging for the fences now, aren't you?
Well, look, you can't.
If you vote, you won't be affected.
Are you going to do all three?
No.
Well, it's not.
Pentagon reform, taxes, defense, and old people.
Absolutely. Look, we don't have a tax problem. We have a spending problem.
Thank
you, Todd Harris. Thank you, Steve McMahon.
Democrats are going to do all three.
You've heard it all here. They don't want to do much except the tough stuff on Medicare, and that hurts you. Up next,